So Doctor Strange is one of these weird characters for the MCU. Originally at one point, Doctor Strange was aimed to be at some point in Phase 1, but then as Iron Man was a huge success and they started laying the foundation for the rest of the MCU, things moved in a different direction. Kevin Feige, ever since his early days working on X-Men 1 and of course Spider-Man 1, has wanted a Doctor Strange movie. Eventually, it would come out, it would be quite a big box office hit, and Doctor Strange would become another mainstay when it comes to the MCU. But the future of the character might be a little uncertain. We of course know he's going to be in Avengers Infinity War and Avengers 4, but beyond that, we don't really know what the future holds for Doctor Strange. Recently, during some interviews for Infinity War, Benedict Cumberbatch, the man that plays Doctor Strange, was actually directly asked what is the status of Doctor Strange 2. And he pretty much said what a lot of us feared and what a lot of us expected, that the fate of Doctor Strange 2 is really uncertain right now. Now, of course, this is kind of true and kind of false. We know that Scott Derrickson, the man that did the first Doctor Strange, is very much at work with somebody else on a script for the sequel. So that really doesn't mean anything though, because at any point it could just say, well, we're not going with the sequel and we're just going to make him an extra in some other movies, which I honestly think would be pretty much a slap in the face to this franchise and the MCU as a whole. And you can see why I would think that. It's like, okay, so now that we are getting the X-Men back, we're getting Fantastic Four back, and we're getting some of these other big franchises off the ground like Black Panther, we don't need Doctor Strange. Which I would argue that they do, considering they left plenty of loose ends, and this is a character that would be very unique. So honestly, I'm willing to bet that he's probably telling the truth. You know, Doctor Strange 2, the future of that movie is pretty much uncertain right now, but I think Marvel is also struggling with a slate right now, because once they acquire everything Fox back, they're going to be looking at a good, 7 or 8 movies a year they could potentially do, and that's a lot for one studio to make. So some of these movies could be coming out every 5 to 6 years at this pace, and at that point, how do you keep interest in these characters up, other than having them star in other films?